All right, guys, let's get into it because today was definitely an interesting night for Monday Night Raw on Netflix. Uh, First and foremost, the show starts and opens off with Jay Uso in Madison Square Garden. Crowd goes crazy. Of course, Jay's getting one of the most biggest reactions out of the WWE superstars right now. He faces, sorry, what's this guy's name? Grayson Waller. So he faces Grayson Waller. Somewhat okay match, opening match. Point of the story is I don't really know what they're doing too much with Grayson Waller and even Austin Theory, but they open the match, right? And then towards the ending of the match, Gunther comes out, puts Jay in a chokehold, and Jay, clearly passes out for a bit, is in the back room getting medical attention, things like that. My thoughts on Jay and Gunther is, to be honest with you, Jay right now is going to WrestleMania because of the attraction he has, right? So he definitely has the crowd behind him. He's not a bad wrestler. He definitely could add some more to his arsenal. I would like to see a little bit different things for him besides the super kick and now maybe like the spear that he added. But besides that, I think he's a really good wrestler, but he could add a lot more to his moveset. The thing with Gunther, for him being a world heavyweight champion, they don't really promote him. And that's a problem because he is your world heavyweight champion. So even though he is on the show, I think Gunther should be there almost every week, even if he's not defending the title every week. But he should be there every week, being in matches, doing a lot more. His promos, he's great at his promos, so that's it's not something he really needs to work on. But I just definitely think back in the days, WWE used to, you know, put their champions, especially their world heavyweight champions or even the undisputed champion, they were a lot more involved in the show. And the modern day WWE, they're not as much, and if you do see them, it's not like they're wrestling a good amount of times on the show. And even on pay per views to a certain extent, depending the pay per views, but you don't really see it go too much. But Gunther versus Jay, what is my thoughts on it? It'll be a good match. I think that they're good enough to carry it, you know, but I wouldn't expect too much out of that match. I'm gonna be honest with you. At this point, I don't even think it will be the main event for night one. And why do I say that? Because we just had Roman Reigns return. And Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and CM Punk in a triple threat match. Potentially, that's what it's going to be at WrestleMania. That alone is going to be the main event. It doesn't need a World Heavyweight Championship. It would have been a plus and a bonus, of course, if a championship was involved in that match. But there's not going to be no championship involved, of course. So what I would say is that's going to be the main event. And Punk right now to me is the hottest wrestling attraction as far as right now. You could put CM's Punk name on anything and he's gonna sell out or he's gonna bring people in. Same thing with Roman, he puts asses in seats, like they say in the business, right? In the wrestling business, he puts asses in seats. And that's gonna be a good match or a great match, I think. With them three in the triple threat match, they do have some heat all with each other. CM Punk kind of even started their career to a certain extent when they were members of the Shield. Of course, we know Dean Ambrose is in another company, but there's history there. They have the story there, and let's be honest, the CM Punk and Seth Rollins thing was supposed to happen last year. If Punk didn't get injured, that would have been one of the matches for last year's WrestleMania. So that was delayed due to CM Punk's injury. And WWE is constantly changing their plans, of course, because you know, they have so many different ways and angles that they could go now. Me personally, I would have liked to see CM Punk in the world, in the undisputed title match with Cody Rhodes. I think that alone will be a better match than Cody Rhodes and John Cena. John Cena's great. He's done a lot for WWE, of course. And, John Cena, where he is in his career now, he could ask for anything from WWE, and WWE is going to put him, they're going to basically do whatever not do whatever he says. I don't want to say it like that. But I just want to say that, he could get pretty much whatever he wants. But, the story, I think, to people is a little bit more interesting. John Cena turning heel. That's something big, right? It's the second biggest heel turn. Of course, Hulk Hogan comes first. Nobody will ever have a heel turn the way Hulk Hogan did, especially, the year it was. A lot of people now know about kayfabe, so let's be honest. They know that pretty much, even though these wrestlers are competitive, because I can tell you one thing, I can see it. CM Punk is a competitive dude. Seth Rollins is a competitive dude. Roman Reigns is a competitive dude. Gunther's a competitive person, right? They're all competitive wrestlers, and et cetera, et cetera. So it's not something that, we're hiding here. But I would say this, in that time where Hogan turned heel and basically formed the NWO, a lot of people, to a certain extent, you can say what you want, didn't know about the kayfabe, right? Some people in their mind really thought that a lot of these guys had genuine beef with each other, right? Even though it was a show, there's some people that, thought like, hey, this is just dumb acting. And then some people be like, wow, these guys really don't like each other. And then, the business wasn't so exposed as it is somewhat now. You have a lot of reality shows. You have a lot of documentaries now that basically let you know that these guys are somewhat friends to a certain extent. So, the thing with the John Cena, I'm not buying it. I think John Cena is not in the best shape. Could he work the mic? Absolutely. John Cena, that's something that he could work the mic any day with the best of them. But wrestling-wise, it doesn't make sense to me to see Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. That's just my opinion. And then John Cena's schedule at the moment, what do we do about this? So, for them having Raw on MSG, you would have thought potentially CM Punk would have tried to, you would have thought John Cena would have tried to be here at MSG, which he didn't show up. He's supposed to be scheduled next week to show up on the Belgium. I think they're going to be, having Raw in Belgium or, live from over there. And that's where he's supposed to be showing up. If you're going to give us heel Cena, or if Cena wants to turn heel of this character, we only got about 9-10 months left with this guy. As far as from what WWE is stating, let's see the real heel John Cena. Let's not just see a couple weeks, 1 week here, 1 week there. We only got, 40 days currently while I'm recording this. We only have 40 days left for WrestleMania. So out of those 40 days, how many times are we going to see John Cena in these shows leading up to WrestleMania? Where does The Rock continue to go with this as far as, the final boss character? What is he going to do? Are more people going to form? You heard Logan Paul say today on the show that he will sell his soul to The Rock to be part of that, right? So is this a longer story that we're looking at, even way beyond past the point of even John Cena? Are they going to form some type of group with even more members now? That's the real question, right? Because you hear a couple other people speculate to a certain extent. that they would have sold their soul to basically be down with the final boss, right? And people, what do you think? How is this match gonna go? Right? Is John Cena gonna be that ruthless, aggression kind of John Cena? Right? Is the heel character gonna show something more different? Because I'm gonna be honest with you. Besides, you know, the Elimination Chamber, what has he really done to earn that spot? To say, I really believe he could be Cody. Cody's in the best shape of his life as far as wrestling wise, right? He's at the top of the top, the creme de la creme, like we like to say, you know? So could John Cena really keep up with this man in the ring? We all know John Cena's I don't want to say one-trick pony, but we pretty much know what we're going to get out of John Cena. So we know that it's not going to be too much. So with this heel turn, you know, what is he going to do in order for me or even wrestling fans in general really to feel that he could be Cody Rhodes? Right? Is The Rock going to interfere? Right? Is Travis Scott going to interfere? Or is maybe somebody surprisingly else going to interfere so John Cena wins his 17th title at WrestleMania? We don't really know. I could tell you one thing, though. This WrestleMania, I believe, is going to go down as one of the best WrestleManias. The lineup that they have here, or that they're creating, is going to be a great lineup. You know, we could go all the way from, let's say, Jay versus Naomi. That's most likely going to be a match in WrestleMania. And Jay, she's a superstar, no matter what anybody thinks. You know, you're going to have now Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, and Bianca Belair potentially in a triple threat match for the Women's Championship. That right there is also going to be a great match. What are you going to do with Judgment Day? What are you going to do with Braun Breaker? You know? So there's a lot of things that in the card this year they could do. There's also rumors and speculation Stone Cold Steve Austin's coming back. All right? And that will be awesome. We all know you're going to have Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. Most likely in a WrestleMania match. All right? Of course, you got Jay and Gunther, like we spoke about earlier. I don't think Jay and Gunther is going to be the main event, like I said. I think that main event for night one goes to Punk, Roman, and Seth. As rightfully they deserve it. You know. What's going to happen with Drew McIntyre? Most likely he's going to be in a match with Damian Priest. What are the plans for LA Knight? We have LA Knight too. Just won the U.S. title last week in SmackDown. He beat Nakamura. So what's going to go down with that? Right? So there's a lot of things that WWE has to figure out at this point. What they're going to do. But I could say that they're headed in the right direction. You know, I would like to see the champions feature a little more. Meaning more of Gunther. Because, you know, Cody Rhodes, you got to give him that. He's there, you know, and I think with Gunther, that's not Gunther's problem as far as like, it's not like he doesn't want to be there. I think just the company doesn't really know where to go with him, and they're trying to keep the heat on Jay. But let's be honest, Gunther would beat the shit out of Jay. Everybody knows that, you know. But I think they're trying to keep the heat on for Jay. He's probably one of their best-selling merchandisers right now. The crowd is behind him. All right? So it's very interesting to see what's going to happen in WrestleMania. That's all, folks.